Hello and welcome back here today. My name is Hex and I'm glad you're here. If you're new here, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much. It does help me out here and inspires me to continue my work, my videos, and sharing my life with you. So, this is part 2 in my series called How Do You Create a Narcissist? So, as you know, the recipe is sugar and spice and nothing quite nice. Of course, it's a imperfect recipe, very imperfect, of course, with varying degrees of narcissism. So, for example, I'll just give you 2 examples of 2 different self-proclaimed narcissists here on YouTube. One is Professor Dr. Sam Vaknin, and the other is Lee Hammock, self-aware, diagnosed narcissist, and who knows what else they have that they're not telling us, but whatever. They are both successful, though, and kind-hearted, self-proclaimed narcissist. So you could see right here, Vaknin has such wild theories on narcissism or NPD. Um, there was one theory he had about being separated or wanting to be separated from mommy at a young age, under 2 years old, and then that's worthy of a diagnosis for narcissism. It was just weird to me, but whatever. I guess he knows more than me. He's been studying narcissism for 30 years. And then here's another narcissist called Lee Hammock. You could see the differences. Never mind the age gap. See, like Lee Hammock's channel is called Mental Illness. He doesn't really have many, if any, childhood memories, I guess. I haven't watched a whole lot of his stuff, to be honest. Only a couple of his videos. But if you take that information compared to mine, I have quite a ton of childhood memories. See, there's some of these memories were pretty good, I think, from my perspective. If I remember correctly, there was a few good moments in my life, in my childhood. So I'll start with the most vivid memory. I don't know why I remember this either, but this is what happened after my father left us. See, I did have a deep love for my father. I don't remember him abusing me much at all. I think he threw a shoe at me one time. That's all I can really remember. I know my mom and dad fought about that, and I could hear it, but not understand it. I'm not sure what happened, but he did beat the tar out of everyone in the house pretty bad. See, I have a lot of childhood memories like that, but Lee Hammock from Mental Illness seems like he doesn't have much. Sam Vaknin has some, but I haven't really gotten to his videos. He's very, he depresses me, to be honest. I'm just going to tell you. He's a very depressing person to me. Maybe other people love him. I don't know. I'm speaking from my experience, my opinions, my perspective. So I don't speak for everyone. I think he's pretty much a good guy, though. I have nothing really against him. His content just doesn't mesh too well with other doctors in the field of cluster Bs, from my understanding. Anyway, so to create that narcissist, Vaknin, he claims what happened to him was he was arrested in Europe for some type of fraud, multi-million-dollar fraud. He did a bunch of stuff that was not good with a bunch of money and got arrested, was forced to go to therapy and forced to do it twice, I guess. So he was diagnosed twice with NPD, maybe 40 years ago. I hope I'm remembering his backstory correctly, but I'm fairly certain that's pretty much it. Again, you'd have to watch it. I don't know 100%. I'm telling you what I remember from the few videos of his I watched. Um, so with Lee Hammock, mental illness, his channel here, great guy, nothing against him. Lucky Lee didn't feel my childhood traumas. Um, or did he? Maybe he's not telling us. See, these traumas, these abuse cycles, they're not easy to talk about. It's difficult for me, as I'm sure it's difficult for other ones that do the same thing. See, some traumas are better off buried inside of us to fester and wither away, like a child's voice. Maybe sometimes Mr. Lee Hammock feels a memory coming on, but he chooses to close that door to it. And good for him. That's okay for him. Nothing wrong with that. Um, it's better off buried inside of us, I suppose. Um, he chooses to close the door to it, and that's okay for him. But God bless him. So the thing is, I can vividly recall the day my father left me, left us, thus left my family. I did not understand how he could or why he could. And then my mom, through the years, prevented me from asking about him. And if I did, I was made to be punished by eating dish soap. So I had to eat dish soap. But the day my father left, it didn't really hurt. There was a little numbness there. I just thought he got lost. I didn't really worry. I thought my mom knew everything, and I don't know. I don't remember much about it. I did get to know my living room window very well by constantly looking out of it in hopes that my father would drive up and we could go then and look at the stars with my new telescope. I remember the excitement when he promised me that telescope. But as it got dark outside, I was forced to go to bed. I recall trying to stay awake, trying to listen for him, and every time I heard someone walking around, I would get so excited. I thought it was him. Daddy's back home, but it was my mom or someone else in the house. I come from a large family. It was like 8 of us, so, but, I just thought, I assumed, like I said, he'd be back home. I do have some memories of looking for him in the streets. I remember, I think it was Walgreens, going in there and looking around for him. I thought he got turned around. That's just me, and this is what I thought. I think I was around 11. I missed him so much at the time. Even now, I wish I could go back and just, have 1 or 2 of those days again and hold his hand. I really felt like a king when he was around. I saw my 2 older brothers, they got beat up quite often by him. I was spared probably because of my age and probably because I had asthma. Well, I still do. I just don't have a lot of attacks. I'm not sure, but my dad didn't do much to me. He didn't, abuse me. He called me his golden child because of my hair. So, but now I'm an old man. My hair's not the same. So I have kids of my own. I have never once thought about abandoning them. I never did. I don't think I could tell either of my kids, hey, pick out something that you want and I'll be back with it, and just disappear for the rest of your life. I don't know how a human being could do that. As a narcissist, yeah, I mean, I understand I don't know. Maybe he was. I don't know. He probably wasn't though. I don't know. But but I do have NPD from childhood trauma and who knows what else. But I'm not going to try to stop working on that. Um, See, the turning point in my life was, that 11-year-old boy. When he left, my world would become a harsh, cold, unforgiving, violent, poverty stricken, dysfunctional mess. But to this day, I guess I could say it just kind of felt normal. I didn't know much else at that age. Everything seemed normal to me. I even remember one good memory of playing around in my house with stuffed teddy bears and having my mom take a picture. It was all, good, lighthearted stuff. I did see that picture actually. I don't know what happened to it. I probably was a bit immature for my age too. Um, but I remember when the day my father left, I was hoping I could go with him to the store. And I think that was the negotiation tactic that he had lined up. You can't go with me, but I will get you whatever you want. So I was glad to stay home. Um, I wanted to get the telescope to look at the stars and the moon. I was obsessed with looking at shooting stars. Um, Not sure why or where that came from, but it was what happened. Um, and that was the last exchange of words with my father. Um, Tell me what you want from the store. I'll get it for you. That was the end of it. That was the last exchange. Um, so let's fast forward up until I think it was 2015 and he had passed away. I recall him having one of our cousins reach out to me on Facebook. It's a cowardly move. You ran from me and you couldn't, even though you're dying, you couldn't just pick up the phone and call me yourself, or I don't know, whatever. But I guess he was had 3 days to live, so I just said I didn't have a father. That was the end of it. I didn't want to speak to him. I didn't speak to him, and I didn't feel much. I really didn't. He just died, so that was that. I carried on. I carried on in my life from 2015. I don't remember shedding a tear at all. Um, I have recently, through therapy, learned to mourn the loss of my father. So, there's that. So, how do you create a narcissist? Well, with sugar and spice and everything not so nice. I say sugar and spice because I did mention I have a few good memories. One of them was watching AWA wrestling with my father. I think it was his favorite show. There was some wrestler called Dick the Bruiser that he loved. I just thought the whole thing was crazy, but my father was doing it, so I was doing it, right? So, I'm an old man now. I mean, I'm not that old, but a lot of this stuff has been buried inside of me. I will say therapy did help me. It really, really made a big difference. I don't know if I ever would have thought about this stuff, or I don't know what would have happened to me if it wasn't for my therapist. But that's it. That's me. You're a devilish narcissist. So, we are human beings. I am a victim of narcissist abuse from my mother um, and my brothers. Two of my brothers, I believe, are, and other people. But I'm actually tired of thinking about this stuff today. I do want to really thank you, though. I do thank you. I appreciate it for listening to the ramblings of an old man. I would like some more subscriptions here. That's all I ask for, really. I really do. I wish I could help people to understand us, though. I think that is a big goal I have here. You know, I, I want people to understand us. If you're being abused by a narcissist, just remember that they are suffering inside. And just because they don't tell you, you know, they are. And unfortunately, you really can't help them too much. You really can't. It's not a battle you want alone. Trust me on that. Another reason why I'm doing this, though, is I recently lost my health insurance because I make too much money and lost access to counseling. So, although I am going to therapy, I'm going to probably be there once a month or so. I think by starting this YouTube channel, it allows me to, try to heal myself and hopefully eradicate NPD from my soul. I think that it will be done. It will be done. I have my own methods and tactics along with therapy, of course, but I believe in myself. And despite everything that happened, as a victim of narcissist abuse myself, this is how I was created. I hope you believe in my cause, and I hope you believe in your cause too. Please like and subscribe. Please, for now, leave a comment. If you have any questions, I'll definitely get back to you. For now, you are discarded.